welcome to Asia's video, which is wow, look how completely different this video looks from the other one. Holy crap.
It's clearly morning.
It's just clearly like, hey guys, doing a video. Before that other video you might have saw first.
This is completely unrelated.
Nope, we recorded this one like hours before that one. This is like the prequel. Like, what are you talking about? Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna shut up because this is your video.
Like the same way I shut up in your video?
Right, but whatever.
Oh, you're supposed to say, oh no, honey, it's totally fine.
Look, I don't mind. Like I said,
sound.
I enjoy just the banter. It's just us. Yeah, we have witty banter.
I think we're the only ones who think we're cool.
Hey, do we care if other people think we cool?
You do.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Like me, guys. Watch my video, guys. Like me. Please like me.
For real. You know what?
I do my video every day so people can see. Unlike me, who does it every other day because I don't really care if people see.
See, I think you're just trying to justify that you forget to do your video.
I don't forget to do my video. I have not forgot to do my video and
in like 2 days. Look, you always forget. And that's fine. You know, it's me, I want to be able to come out here. I want documentation. Like, to be able to come back and revisit these moments. So that's why I do it.
Ooh, look at me with my reasons.
No, look at me. Sometimes I just get lazy and don't feel like doing it. If you move your nanite clusters over, you'll have a spot. Also,
to where the ship?
Yep. Also, I think there's an animal attacking you.
No. Oh. Well.
Yeah. See.
Little mushroom guy. Oh, you're a little. No! No! No!
Light him up.
Die. You like a cow.
Man, let's let him go.
Oh, nope. Got him.
Oh. Did it? I'm gonna be quiet now.
That won't last long. So yeah, we're just sitting here, just playing some No Man's Sky. Just gonna repeat the same things that I said in the other video. No, I had an okay day. Like, nothing special happened, nothing bad happened. It was just a day. Just kind of chilled today for the most part. Well, yeah, so we're just kind of hanging out. My brother came today, which was cool, so we hung out with him for a bit. It was kind of like a rotation thing. It didn't mean to be that way, but it was like he watched a movie with him while I played the game, and then I went to shower and clean, and then I watched a movie with him while my husband played the game. Not that we were like, oh, let's take turns so we can play the game. It just kind of happened that way. So yeah, it was cool seeing my brother. Whoa, how did that happen? So it was really cool being able to visit with my brother, and yeah, I was saying in his video, typically we spend too much time trying to decide what we want to do.
Damn, 9?
9 what?
You can grow 9 of them.
What do you mean?
You can grow 9 cactus things.
How do you know that?
It says available to build 9.
Oh.
Nice.
So I should?
I'd probably just do the 8 since they're there.
Okay. So yeah, like, we typically spend a lot of time trying to figure out what we're going to do as opposed to just hanging out. But today or tonight, we kind of ended up just playing the game and talking, and then he turned on his video, and this ended up happening. How long was your video?
30 minutes.
Oh, I see. So yeah, we're just doing what we would typically do. Um, Except we're not watching a movie. We typically will watch a movie or watch something. But you know, it's cool to do something different. We might still watch something. I don't know, but we're just kind of hanging out and playing the game, which is cool because we don't typically play the game a lot together in the room. But I know that soon we will. So, with the game coming out is what I mean.
You can start growing Star Bramble right away because you have plenty of Star Bramble in the safe.
Yeah, cool.
You just need to find a place to put it.
Okay.
I would change one of the green rooms to orange.
Okay. So yeah, we're just hanging out. Oh, I know where I am. I'm good. I got it. See, I should have done my video first because my video is going to be a lot more boring than his.
It's not true.
You know, now you can open your mouth though. No, you can talk. You open your mouth pretty wide. Practice. That's how wide it usually. I know. Soon.
It's my Asian impression.
That's not how I do it.
No, actually, it's more like. And she's got to use two hands.
Sure. There you go. Oh. Is there more or is it just there?
I think that was it.
Okay. So yeah, we're literally just hanging out. It's like, I feel like right now we're like doing like a gaming channel, but you can't see the gameplay, so it's really boring.
Right. That's not fun.
It's not fun. Nope. Why am I lost?
It's in the blue room. The blue room has the only exit. That's my fault.
No, I'm not going to an exit.
Well, no, you want to go. There you go. See? Then you can head over to the green.
That one.
Yeah.
That one's growing. I thought we had 3 of these.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so just convert one. It's no big deal.
Okay. And where is that under?
Farming. Oh, you looking to change the color? Yeah. Left trigger. Want to hold this?
Yes. Thank you. I am currently changing the color of one of my rooms and my base. Yeah. We were talking earlier before we started doing videos just about like some of the choices that I've made and things that like I've thought about doing and decided against doing.
Oh, just took a turn.
Oh, okay. No, like I'm not I'm not gonna necessarily go into detail too much. But I will say like there are some things that I had thought about doing before and I'm glad that I decided against doing it.
Only one task remains.
Really?
Now you need a purple room.
Yay. And I decided against doing it like because I realized like a big thing that I try to go with is do what's best for you. And my glasses. Is do what's best for you. But for me personally, I feel like there are certain choices that I can make that will just affect me. And then there are other choices that will affect other people around me. So I have to be careful about the choices that I make. And, you know, another thing that I try to be careful with is being pressured into doing something that I didn't originally want to do. Or just doing something out of boredom or doing something because I don't want to disappoint someone. And it's okay. Like I've made those kind of choices before. And it was okay because I care about the person and it's not something that was going to have a negative effect or anything like that. But with some people, especially people that you don't consider in your like small inner circle, to make those kind of choices for, it's not worth it, especially if it's going to affect the people around you that you do care for deeply. And I used to be a big people pleaser, and I
You still
can
are.
say even now I'm better with that. Um, but every now and then I do have to make sure that I'm not just trying to please people who frankly don't matter. And remember to make the choices that are best for Asia and make the choices that are best for the people around me that I do care about, and not just making choices just because, I'm not a teenage girl anymore, could just do whatever. I have a family. Um, and I'm not saying I have to remember that I have a family. Obviously, I remember I have a
You
family.
forgetting me though?
But I have to look at the big picture. I have to look ahead and not just in the moment, um, when it comes to people. And I used to be desperate to have friends and stuff, and um, I'm much better with that now. I've accepted that. I don't have like a bunch of friends. I'm not one of those people that just has a bunch of friends. I don't have a bunch of girlfriends and stuff. I've got a couple of very close friends, and unfortunately, they live far away. But I would rather have it that way than be surrounded by a bunch of fake people or people who were no good for me, or who had a negative impact on my life. So that is something that I have to remember, every now and then. Like, there are certain people whom I have tried to be friends with before, and they wanted things from me that I was not willing to do, or wanted a certain kind of friendship that I wasn't down for. And I have had the thought before, like, well, how bad would it be? But the fact that I had to say that in the first place, how bad would it be? It's not something that I want, and I'm not going to compromise what I want for the sake of making someone else happy who I don't really care that much for, or even putting myself in situations or going places and doing things that I don't want to do. Um, for instance, I'm not against hanging out with people, but if you are only interested in doing a certain activity and I don't enjoy that activity, then why would I go out of my way to do that activity I don't enjoy just for the sake of being out of the house? That just completely defeats the purpose. And I've done that multiple times. And I'll convince myself like, oh, it won't be so bad, and then I'll get there and I'll be doing the thing or go to the place or whatever activity it is that they want it to do or engage in, and I'll just
Not
feel
like it.
like I should have just stayed home. I'd rather be at home when the whole point was for me to get out the house, have a little fun, and then come home. But it never ends up being fun. Um, and I started practicing that more last year. There was a young lady who wanted to hang out, and she was really interested in playing bingo, like going to bingo. And I had never done it before, until last year. And I was like, okay, fine, let's go. I guess we'll try. You can win money, it could be fun. And the first time I went, it wasn't the best. Well, it wasn't fun at all because it was really busy. I think it was like New Year's Day or the day after New
I
Year's
think you
Day.
won like $60 or
No,
something.
it wasn't that time. It was the first time I went, and because it was so busy, we ended up in the smokers room, and I have asthma, so that was very sucky for me, because I was very uncomfortable for 3 hours. And I didn't really know how to play the game. I know how to play bingo like for fun, but when you're around people who are playing bingo for money, it's a completely different territory. Also, people like will get full tables, and they'll get like, you'll usually have like the one square paper, they'll get like 10 of those and then running back and forth, like doing. I'm not that good, and I'm not that desperate to win money that I'm going to like give myself a headache. So it was like that. And I'm like trying to pull pages and I can barely work one. And the person I was with was getting frustrated because I wasn't as good and as desperate to win money. And it's like, this was supposed to be fun. I'm out here hustling like I'm gonna lose my apartment if I don't win this $60. You know what I mean? And that's not fun to me. If I felt that way, I just would have went to work. um, so like that wasn't fun. But then like I ended up going again, and I ended up winning once, and it was like $60 or so. It was cool, but ultimately I don't think it was really worth all the time that I spent there, because they're like 3-hour games, and there's like different prizes you can win. Like one of them is like you can win like $2,000 or whatever. And like the person I would go with, like we had like a deal with like whatever we win, we would split. They no matter who won it, which was pretty fair. So like if we won like the $2,000 game, like I would walk away with 1,000, she would walk away with 1,000, but that never happened. And even if it did happen, that would have been really cool. But it doesn't mean that I want to go all the time for a chance to win. Now you're spending money and spending time hoping that you might win. And I have no problem with spending money to have fun, but I don't like spending money for a chance to win and it's not fun. And if I don't win, then I feel like I wasted money, I wasted my time. It's just not fun. So eventually I had to, and I think this was earlier this year, I went with this person like maybe 2 or 3 times. And this year I remember they asked me like, oh, we should hang out, we should go to bingo. And it was like, hey, I'm all for hanging out, but I don't want to go to bingo. I just don't like it. And that was a little bit hard for me to like actually admit that and be blunt about that, but I had to learn do what's best for Asia. So instead I was like, well, we can go to coffee, or we can maybe see a movie or something like that. Like, I don't know, for me, like I'm cool with just like, if someone wants to hang out, I'm really cool with just like going, like sitting down, having coffee or tea and just talking. Or like, especially like if the person I'm hanging out with has kids, we can go to the park or things like that. Like those things are fun to me. Or we can go somewhere, I'm fine with that. But I'm not into bingo like that. Like obviously everyone's cool with the idea of winning money, but when you tell me I have to spend time and money and be around a bunch of people I don't like for a possibility of winning money, I'm not down for that. And I remember the response I got was, well, don't you want to win money? Well, of course, who doesn't want to win money? But I'm not willing to do all these other things for a possibility. If you told me if I went and spent 3 hours and spent $20 and I was guaranteed to walk out with more than I came with, or walk out with a couple of $100, maybe my mind would change a bit, but that would just feel like a job. So again, like that's just not me. It's not really what I'm down for. But like apparently that person just wanted to do that and I didn't, so we don't really hang out. Also, that person wanted other things that I wasn't down for, so we just kind of stopped. I'm not gonna call you out
and say this person's name.
Thank you,
because I get that. Oh, just in case this person were to stumble across your video.
It's not even just the person stumbling across my video. It's just I prefer, and I have before on here, but I prefer not to be petty and say people's names, because even if I feel a certain way about people, it's not my business to put their business out there. And technically I am putting business out there, but I'm not saying who it is, so they're still anonymous. I prefer not to. Like even with I don't know, even with like people who have done me wrong in the past, like I have called people out, but in a way I kind of regret saying names and putting certain information out, just because it's not my place to. Even if they deserve it, it's not my place to do it, because if they truly deserve it, they'll get theirs. You know, it'll get out. It's just not my place. And then these videos are for me from my point of view and not to bash people. So when I do talk about people or situations and stuff, it's not that I'm trying to focus on that person or what they did. It's more so, how did Asia respond? How did that affect Asia? What did I learn from that situation, you know?
Okay.
What else were you going to say? My husband's different. We were just talking about that in another video. Like, he'll just flat out blast people, and that's fine. I just try not to do that. I'm guilty of doing it because I feel like I call people out on here by name when I get really comfortable and what I'm talking about. And that's actually a good thing, because I'm talking on here like I'm just talking, period, which is good. But I try not to. So if I do, I'm not going to like beat myself up for saying something, because it's not like I'm telling lies. These are like facts, but I just try not to.
True.
I speak the true. That's not even from anything, is it? You just did that, huh?
No, that's drawn together.
Drawn together? I don't remember that from that show. So yeah, like
Foxy Brown.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember her. I just don't remember her saying that. But anyway, yeah. So I just try. I mean, yeah. What am I saying? I try to practice more doing what's best for Asia, and sometimes that can be very hard because I am a people pleaser, even if it's not just like random people or strangers or, you know, people who don't really matter. Even when it comes to like my family and close friends, like, I worry so much about what people think about Asia, and I just want to be the best Asia possible. Like, you know,
you are the best Asia.
Thank you. So yeah, I worry about that kind of thing a lot.
Even now?
Even now. And really what I deal with the most about it now is, again, the people who I'm closest to. So like, I will feel that way with like my husband. Like, was that last night? It was last night. I was really upset and I beat myself up because we were running low on food, and I was trying to come up with something semi-decent, like just literally threw something together, and it wasn't the best at all. But I had my husband taste, and I was like, hey, do you like this? And coming from someone who has said everything and I've made him he's loved, he was like, no, I don't like it. And I was crushed and so embarrassed because I felt like I failed as a wife in serving my husband something that he didn't enjoy. And I ended up making him something completely different, and, you know, that was fine with him. But I was just so embarrassed. Like, I have failed. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, you know what I mean? And like,
the only one who felt that
and
way.
I know it's me being hard on myself, but that's just who I am. It's like, I wouldn't have done that with anyone else, but with my husband, it's like, what? He didn't like it? Like, what have I done? Like, I don't deserve to live. Okay, it's not that serious, but like, it's so dramatic. I can be very dramatic, but it's not really me being dramatic. It's really how I feel. Or like, if I don't talk to like my family who is like in New York, I will feel like, oh, are they upset with me? Or, oh, what's going on? Or, oh, what have I done? You know, it's just like, it's...
Maybe they're busy.
Yeah, and I know that it's like obviously people have lives, they're busy, they're doing things. But Asia is so dramatic. So that's something that I'm working on. Something that I realize not good. I need to stop that. I need to get better with that. So I'm trying to get better with that, but that's how I am. But I would rather be that way with the people who matter and not even considering doing that with people who don't matter or people who mean me harm. So I like to think I have cleared myself of people who aren't good, or toxic people. But every now and then, you know, people will creep their way back in, and I'm always polite, you know, and I have no problem with talking with anyone, but talking with someone and like spending time with someone, two completely different things. For instance, the other day, um, technically an ex-boyfriend contacted me on Facebook. And I say technically because honestly, I was like 13 years old. It was literally, I think I was 13. It was literally a decade ago. Or probably over a decade ago at this point. With like some boy I used to talk to, and he was the cousin of a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine. And when I moved out here, like we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and he still lived in Michigan. And like I've never even met this dude in person. Let me just say that. But like we would text and talk and stuff like that. And obviously it didn't work out. But like
Aww.
it was just shut up. It was just someone who, I would just, it's like, oh, my little boyfriend or whatever. And he contacted me and we ended up talking. And I told my husband because it wasn't even, it was like, oh, really? That's weird. It wasn't even like something like threatening. It was just like, it's just him, So like we were talking or whatever, and like he would give me compliments like, oh, you're still so beautiful, or oh, I miss you, or oh, when you're gonna come back to Michigan and visit, all that stuff, whatever. And I shut him down every time. Like he already knows what's up. He knows I'm married. He knows I'm happily married with a family and all that stuff, and he knows that. But people still do what they do, and it's like it's not even something worth getting upset about. And it's like he wasn't being disrespectful at all. Like he didn't say anything out of the way. He was just paying me compliments, but he knows, and I know. And it's like every now and then, like I think today he sent me a message and he's just like, he's like, hey, what are you up to? And that kind of thing, whatever. And it's like
for my husband.
And it's like, hey, but also I'm not that he asked for my number, but it's not the kind of thing where it's like, oh, let's text or anything like that. It's like, if you see that I'm on Facebook and you send me a message, that's one thing. It's another thing to give you my phone number. Like I remember my
he asked you for your number?
No, he didn't. No.
Okay.
But my actual ex-boyfriend, he, this was like maybe a year ago. He sent me like a message on Instagram, I think, and he was like asking me what's going on, this and that, whatever. And that actually was kind of weird because like he and my husband actually got into it like physically once, and they've had some words a couple of times since then. My husband since we got married, like he's like stopped contacting my wife, like that whole thing, whatever. But like he I remember he asked me, he was like, oh, I don't know if you're comfortable with it, but can I have your number so we can talk? And I'm like, no, like, dude, you're my ex-boyfriend. Like, I'm married. Not only are you my ex, you're my ex that my husband hates, and you hate my husband. And like, that's just completely disrespectful. Like, what would I look like sitting next to my husband texting my ex? Like, that's, I don't know, that's just crossing the line. So like, yeah. So I got way off subject.
It's your video.
So,
dog.
yeah, that. So people are weird, and that's another. I don't know if it's like this for most people or if this is just an Asia thing, but I find that when I cut people off or stop talking to people for whatever reason, they always find a way to come back. Even if I end up just shutting them down again, they always keep trying, like constantly. Not just guys, girls too. Not just guys and girls who have tried to get in my pants. Just people in general just tend to come back. It's like they can't take no for an answer. Maybe because I used to be so gullible, they're like, oh, it's no way Asia really meant that. But no, I mean it. And I'll shut them down. Then they come back. It's funny. Like my ex comes around at least once a year, and it's just
She's just checking up.
funny. Like,
maybe
do people think that like oh, this will be the day that Asia's lonely and wants to cheat, or this will be the day that I find out Asia got a divorce? Like, none of these things are gonna happen. My husband absolutely pleases me in every single way physically. I love him to death. I'm never leaving him. We'll never get divorced. We'll never be separated. I know these are things that a lot of people experience, but that's not an option for us. It will never come to that because whatever issues we have would be worked out. Before there are even issues, it'll be talked out. So your phone is dying. That's my cue. So anyway, yeah, people are funny.
They are.
They are.
This is your video, dude. I'm letting you do your thing.
I know. I'm gonna go now though, because we've been doing a video for an hour now. Because mine is 30 minutes. So, yeah. Anyway, goodbye. I'm gonna go spend time with my loving husband, who I'm not gonna divorce.
Let's go spend an hour picking a movie.
No. Let's spend an hour talking about what we're gonna do next,
Okay.
and then we spend an hour picking the movie.
Yeah.
And then decide we're not gonna watch the movie,
and then we realize it's too late.
And then we can spend an hour making out.
Ooh.
Okay.
Or we can just make out right now.